Hello, everybody. Helen Lu here, certified reflexologist, certified energy medicine practitioner, Reiki master, and teacher of the Healing Place Energy School. My partner, Robin Bornstein, is not with me tonight. She had something urgent came up, and she says, "Helen, can you do the show by yourself?" So, how is everybody? Uh, let me know if you are with me. Join in, say hello wherever you are. And tonight's subject is about talking about accessing or activating your inner wisdom. Everybody has inner wisdom. It's just a matter of how often do we actually use that wisdom that's been within us. And not only the wisdom's been with us in this lifetime, but you have accumulated, I would say, many lives wisdom within you. And how do you know this? Have you ever been any place where you have been triggered by a place that you know you have never been, but something is really familiar about the place? Or perhaps an experience you might have had with somebody that is very new to you, but yet it feels like you had this conflict before. And what this is your body is remembering what it has done from either a past life, it could be a current life, but somewhere it's just hidden within your subconscious. And this wisdom that we all have lives inside of us. So, one of the things that I love when I work with clients at the Healing Place in Medfield, Massachusetts, and I am always so surprised how people will doubt their intuition. And that's what wisdom is a lot of times is intuition that your soul is talking to you. And one thing about your soul, your gut feeling, it never lies. Here's a quick story. I've been working with this gentleman to make a purchase, and he's in Canada. It was a purchase for a lot of money for something that I really love. I love gemstones, and I like to look at them. And, and occasionally, I will indulge in my little passion. I would collect gemstones and then eventually turn them into jewelry. And I was really amazed. We've been trying to do the transaction back and forth, and nothing was working. Is the PayPal wasn't working, the bank transfer that I was trying to make wasn't working. And all of a sudden, inside of me, I felt like there's a message here. When things don't gel, just don't gel and they don't come together. And one of my clients who came to me today, she said to me, "Helen, have you not noticed you've been working on this purchase for the last 4 days and it still hasn't became reality as of today?" And I really thought about it for a second. I had this feeling that it was something that should not have happened, but yet I really wanted that gemstone and I was willing to jump through hoops. And something about what she said all of a sudden woke me up like out of a spell. And it wasn't about him, it was like about the chase. And one thing I said to myself this afternoon, I made a decision. I'm not going to go through the transaction because even though I really wanted it, but not to the point where I was willing to hurt myself to get it. It was out of my budget. And I was saying to myself, this purchase may not come again because I really love that color. And then all of a sudden, my ego, the good side of the ego, was telling me, how do you know that? How do you know something better won't come along? And I had to let go and trust my intuition, push aside my fears and doubt. So let me tell you what happens when you start to feel really fearful. Okay, I'm going to use my book cover as we're going to talk a little bit about chakra work because everything I do, even though it's through reflexology, It's related to energy medicine. So one thing, as most people, some people know, we have 7 main chakras living on our spine. And the root chakra is about your everyday needs. What do you need to survive? What do you need to be comfortable? Second chakra is about your emotions. And it's all about feeling good about what you feel right this minute without doubting. The yellow chakra is about self esteem. Do you feel good? Do you have things under control instead of letting fear and doubt jump your inner wisdom? The heart chakra is not only about the love you have for others, but what about the love you have for you? Your throat chakra, like, I really, in a way, didn't want to hurt the man's feeling by saying, I don't think this is going to work out. But instead, something in my head kept telling me, I may not see another stone like this again. So learn how to speak the truth. And your third eye, intuition. This is where a lot of times you get little whispers coming in through the third eye or through the third chakra, which is your self-esteem. And then the crown chakra, whereas you're connected to the universe. So whenever you have doubts, and if everything flows the way it should, it really comes up and down like a tunnel. Once you start to experience fear, usually for more times for certain people, it starts with the head. You're going to go into doubt, and quickly your fears are going to set in. So what happens when this starts to energize and vibrates, it starts to work its way down through all your chakras, and then all of a sudden your chakras are really fearful. And what if I would never find this gemstone again? What ifs? All the what ifs starts to surface, and you really, what happens? You stop using that wisdom within you. Instead of running to fear as your first emotion, this is where you need to pause. I really say, I tell people, like young man that I was working with today, who's 13 years old, and I said to him, once you start to feel anxious or nervous, you need to pause and give yourself a timeout. So I have learned, hi Lisa, Winnipeg, uh, I have learned to give myself a timeout because you don't need to make rash decisions. You don't have to make decisions where, wow, I'm going to show him that I could be concrete and I'm going to make a decision right this minute without any thought. It's okay to change your mind. Seriously. And that's what I did. I changed my mind. He's probably mad at me because we've had so much dialogue since this weekend. But you know what? I have to trust this. I have to trust my wisdom. I didn't get to be 68 years old for no good reason. And think about, it's not only in this lifetime, it's all your cumulative lives. So if you feel like you're an old soul, where, how do you know you're an old soul? You're going to find there's a lot of things that just doesn't bother you. It just doesn't bother you. It just goes over your head and say, you know what? I can't invest my time or my energy. So that's a wonderful trait to have, to identify with. And the more you believe in the knowledge that you have, and where does distrust come from? The distrust comes from basically what has your family taught you as a child? Have they taught you to question everything? Can't we? We live in a world right now. There is so much distrust, and I wish it wasn't the case, but there is. There's a lot of distrust, and everybody, instead of giving people the benefit of the doubt, the first thing you start to think about, what if he's trying to take advantage of me and steal from me? All right, and unfortunately, that runs in my family, my extended family. So we're all a little bit cynical. And I try hard not to be like that because my intuition is very strong. And the more I've learned how to trust it when it's giving me a message or I feel like a spirit guy is talking to me, I sit and ponder for a little bit. So what do you do? What do you do when you get like this? All right. The first thing you do is you know you are having a disconnect from your soul to your higher self. So one of your chakras, or maybe all of your chakras, are disconnecting from you. What's really important is have everybody and everything work in alignment. So the energy got to flow back and forth. You know immediately if something is shut down. Perhaps you're one of those people who feel it in your stomach. All of a sudden you're getting butterflies. Or perhaps your voice starts to get raspy, like mine is right now. Another thing is your heart starts to palpitate because you're nervous. Watch for those signs because it's telling you when your chakra is either deficient or excessive. And what do you do again? Take 3 breaths. Everybody do this with me. Yeah, see, Angel says her mom is full of fear and anxiety. I was raised in that condition. So what happens is, as she's passing down her fears and anxiety to you, and if you have children, Angel, notice what you are telling them. It becomes generational, and all of a sudden you're passing this uh, gift or this trait, and it's really difficult to break. So when you get together, notice how you interact. Is it cheerful, or is it already you're going at each other's throats with these little sentences or these non-complimentary things you're saying to each other? And how do you shift this? A lot of times when I'm in these types of situations, when they're saying something mean and unnecessary, and then see if you could counter it. It all depends how straightforward you are. I have a pretty fairly blunt personality, and I said, "Is that really necessary?" Because I am so happy to see you today. It's been such a long time. Hello, Mr. Sanders. Oh, my favorite Mr. Sanders. And I always come out and say, I am so happy to see you. And what can somebody say to an answer like that, unless they're really in a bad mood? Are they going to counter your lovely greeting with something negative? All right. So think about it. Learning to shift the energy in the room is key. All right. So instead of creating negativity, why don't you create a positive energy flow? And it only takes one person to do this. As soon as you walk in, let's say you know what your family or friends are like, instead of feeding into that negativity, I want you to become the light of the room, where you're going to breathe in positive energy. And this is what I tell people when you start to do this work. You take 3 breaths. This is what I do every place and everything I do. And even in between clients, I take some cleansing breaths to help me to clean my energy. So you breathe into the nose, breathe in. Everyone do this with me. Breathe in and exhale out through your mouth. Again, breathe in and exhale out through your mouth. Breathe in and out. If something gets really sticky, take a step back. When you feel yourself begin to get angry or agitated, take a step back. People are going to think you're a little bit weird, because what you're doing when you take a step back away from somebody and something, you're breaking away from their energy field as the aura, okay? And I do that frequently, especially when I feel like I'm being attacked. It's so powerful. And I do this each and every time. If I come back and engage and I feel another attack come on, and I say, excuse me, I need to take a breather. And people are going to think you're strange, but I'm used to having people think I'm strange. So it's something that I've used to. What you need to always do is protect your energy field, because it really sucks when you feel like you're being attacked, especially if you have a partner who might have a narcissistic personality and they're gaslighting you. Energetically, you've got to find ways to protect your aura. Your aura is like an eggshell that's outside of your body. It protects you. And all it takes is a tiny pinhole, either with negative words, ugly moments, to put a hole in your aura. What do you do again? Take a step back. And a lot of times I'm engaging myself. I think about putting on that energy. I call it energy condom, where I'm keeping people out of my energy field. And I always do this, especially when I'm at large gathering, when the energy is just crazy. So what do you think about all of that, the thoughts, you know? And it's so easy to protect yourself. It's just that no one has ever taught you. In fact, I had to learn this on my own, because the way I was raised, it's in a very defensive environment. So it was very judgmental, and everybody had a role in the family. So it was, I call it a business. My family was very much like a business. Everybody knew what their role was in the family and how to keep it gelling. And when somebody wasn't doing well, we did not know how to support that brother or sister. So what happens was it kept tearing and making the wound in us bigger and bigger until it really got to the point no one knew what to do. So as I do this energy work, I teach people every day not only how to protect themselves, but how to create space between you and the other person or things. All right. So let me give you some guidelines. I wish I could write them down. Or maybe I could write and talk at the same time. First of all, you need to trust what you feel and really learn to trust what you feel. Don't second guess yourself, all right? Because once you start to second guess yourself, you purposely start to shut down your chakras. Your chakras are looking for direction from you. Just imagine being at the traffic light. The traffic light is on and off. In other words, don't shut down your energy flow. Your body and your soul, your higher self, needs you to participate and be gelling, be one team. Not all of a sudden your self-esteem chakra is screaming over there. Your throat chakra has shut down because you want to say some things to people, but you don't know what to say. So what do you end up doing? You lash out. Your third eye is telling you, stop, slow down. Okay. So take a step back. Learn to create quiet moments to focus. And again, all you have to do is take a step back or pause. I love that expression. Pause for a second. Pause. Just pause for a minute. You don't have to explain what you're doing to the other person, because in that second, you could shift your vibration. In fact, that's what we're going to talk about next Tuesday, is how to elevate your vibration to a higher level. And decisions do not need to be made immediately. So give yourself a chance to ponder a little bit. And what will happen once you begin to trust your intuition, your wisdom is going to flourish instead of you dimming it down to something that's negative, because your soul really wants to work with you. And And in the 15 years I've been doing this work, I am amazed. When I started in 2006, I cannot tell you the fear inside of me was rapid. I was so afraid. I started during the recession when nobody knew what reflexology was. Literally in Massachusetts, nobody knew what it was. And I knew I would, thankfully, my husband supported me, but I knew my family would not. In fact, everyone looked at me and said, really? What? What, Helen? What are you going to do? What's that? Did you go to school for that? Is that a real school? How do I know? How much did you pay for your tuition? This is questions that I got from my in-laws, and they couldn't believe it. And what's funny is, I was very blessed the way we started uh, my reflexology certificate. I had to find my own people to do clinical work. I had to find 10 people willing to commit to 10 sessions. And then afterwards, I wrote a thesis. The thesis was on, can reflexology help to minimize or eliminate medication intake? And Angel, we got those in every family. I'm going to say, Angel says, your family sounds like my sister. We have one. Everyone has a sister or brother like that. So anyways, coming back to my clinical work, and I had to write a thesis on my observations. So I had 5 people had various form of arthritis. And I've learned that nobody needed to have once a week for 10 weeks of reflexology services. And I noticed the pain broke within the 4th or 5th session. And then after I finished reflexology school, started my business the next month, literally, my Reiki teacher asked me a month after that, after I opened up my business, Helen, do you want to go to energy medicine school? I'm like, how am I going to swing this? I just left a job, just opened a business. And then she says to me, Helen, it's only $10,000. I'm like, okay. So I said, well, the universe has presented me something. I took a huge breath. I went home and told my husband what I was going to do. And he said, you realize you just started a business. I said, yeah. So I took that step. It was a step of faith. And what it did for me was give me confidence because something drove me into doing this. I could hear the universe, God, spirit guide say, Helen, you need to do this work. What you did for your son and help him to heal without medication, you need to bring this information and help other people. And that's how I started from 15 years ago. And I can't tell you how many times I wanted to shut down the business because when people stopped coming, I said, oh man, how am I going to swing this? And I was waiting for my bank account. I love to tell this story. I was waiting for my business bank account to get down to zero, really $0. And I was going to shut down shop. And it came down to $200 and it never went further than that. And here I am, I'm still in business and I'm helping thousands of people today with with my online school for those people who have begun their awakening process, wants to do this work. So that's why I created the Healing Place Energy School, because I can't help everybody one-on-one at the Healing Place in Medfield. As good as I am, and God has made a lot of mothers, I still cannot be everywhere. So I just do my best. So this is what you could do for yourself today. I want you to practice self-kindness. When you start to have doubts and fears, pause and breathe. Do that 3 breaths. Usually we do meditation, but we're at the close at 7:30. Do that 3 meditation where you're going to expel the negativity as much as you can. If you need to do 5 breaths, do 5. And do this hourly. You're going to find this is going to help keep your mind quiet. It won't allow doubt and fear to grow within you. All right. This is really key. The more you keep it at bay, before you know it, fear and doubt won't last as long. I still have doubts and fear, but I could push it out much quicker than I could have 15 years ago. Get into the practice because your body has been programmed, especially if you were brought up in that fear and doubt environment. Access that inner wisdom. The more you practice that inner wisdom, the more fear and doubt is going to be back here, not in the front lobe, in the back of your head. And then before you know it, you're going to find your power. And you're going to not only find your inner power, your inner wisdom, you're going to be able to design it to the way you want it to look. This, I could promise you, it takes commitment and practice. Without commitment and practice, you will not achieve that. Every time you go into doubt and fear, stop. All right, everybody? How does that sound? I'll give everyone a chance just to comment if you want. I could do a little thing like this. And this is, I'm hoping this is going to give you power, the power that you have within you. If you are listening tonight, there's a reason why you're here. There is no such thing as coincidence. So this is Helen Chin Liu. And then next Tuesday, March 1st, Robin will be back. And we're going to talk about raising our vibration, constantly raising our vibration and feel really good and celebrate that high vibration. In the meantime, please subscribe, follow. And once you subscribe, you'll hear that ding dong, and you know that I have a new video out. See you, be well, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.